This guy looks like a sex doll. Is there a human being here? Or, like, the quality's so bad I can't even tell. Is this flesh? He can summon up an army of 200 million people, and he's the head of the world's martial arts committee?
Here on my right is Alexander Romanov, who is a grandmaster of an Illuminati group that claims to have started the French, Russian, and American revolutions.
Wow.
As you may know, there has been a battle going on over the future of this planet.
Awfully powerful.
Back in May of 2021, I was exposed to a bizarre conspiracy community that makes flat earthers look reasonable by comparison. Unlike a lot of conspiracy theories, which tend to have a small degree of truth, which is often extrapolated into outright fiction, this conspiracy theory is based on nothing but pure fantasy. Imagine if someone told you they lived out the plot of the movie Total Recall. That they thought they were living a regular life until one day they recovered memories of being a secret agent fighting an evil organization on Mars. Now, what if they also said that they were a space marine who fought insectoid and reptilian extraterrestrials on different planets? And finally, what if they capped it all off by claiming to be G.I. Joe?
I'd say that's a fucking good man.
If you ever encounter someone like this, it's possible that they believe that they are part of the secret space program. The secret space program is a conspiracy theory which has grown in popularity within the past decade. There are YouTube channels, social media groups, and entire conferences dedicated to a shared belief that humanity has already traveled to the far reaches of space, and that a shadowy world government has been hiding this truth from the masses. A lot of the people who buy into this theory also believe that they were abducted and forced to serve in the secret space program against their will. This isn't a LARP, or an ARG, or a giant sci-fi influenced role-playing game. No. These people genuinely believe this stuff, and their community is getting bigger by the day. I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years, this overtakes Flat Earth as the most ridiculed conspiracy theory by the general population. And that's because it's way, way crazier. I was put onto this by a friend of mine who goes by the handle Vapes for Christ. Here's us talking about it on a Discord call.
Thanks, Prime Kevin.
So, I was listening to this podcast called The Unexplained with Howard Hughes. It's basically like the UK's equivalent to Coast to Coast. It's on the radio as well. And they just had this one guy in there I saw. His name was Captain Randy Kramer. Like, he was saying stuff like he was actually a genetically enhanced super soldier made in a lab in the late 1960s for a secret space program where he'd be battling aliens on Mars for the Mars Defense Force. And the more I looked into this, he's not alone. There's like a whole community of people that claim they've also been part of this program.
Randy lived on the planet Mars for 17 years, where he said there were approximately 6 to 7 million people living, including various ET races.
So I was genetically engineered from the ground up.
What a hero.
Tinkered with some extraterrestrial hybridized DNA to, be smarter, faster, stronger for soldiering abilities. Where I spent a little over 17 years in the MDF, which is the Mars Defense Force. I was in the infantry there on the ground, mostly scuffling with indigenous reptoids and indigenous insectoids territorially.
Wow.
Mostly really to test military equipment.
This guy's done it all.
There are a lot of interesting characters in the SSP/Super Soldier world, such as Dwight Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, Laura Magdalene Eisenhower.
What?
James Casbolt, a self-proclaimed former MI6 agent who's now in prison for trying to blackmail 2 million euros out of his Super Center heiress ex-wife, Haley Major. And Mark Richards, who's also in prison, not for blackmail this time, but instead for robbery and murder in the mid-1980s. He was also bizarrely plotting a paramilitary takeover of his county in order to turn it into King Arthur's court with himself as a king. Yeah, that's a thing.
This is amazing.
Within the community, these people are known as whistleblowers. Individuals who risk their lives to disclose sensitive information about their time in the secret space program. Initially, I was struck by how these so-called whistleblowers spoke with such earnestness while claiming to have lived out grand stories akin to Z-grade science fiction. And more strikingly was how many people seemed to believe them.
There is a secret space program which is funded by our taxes. We pay for our own enslavement. There are factions in space. They have anti-gravity propulsion system. Anything you can think of, time travel, manipulating consciousness, it's all real.
Thanks, Reese, a bunch.
When I first started looking to this community, I considered making a video about it, but I scrapped the idea fairly quickly. At the time, my idea was to make a video simply exploring the whistleblowers and the conspiracy theory.
Well, why not
but
become
I decided
one?
against it, as I was more in the mood to work on something more ambitious and grand. So I set it aside and worked on a handful of other projects instead. However, there was a part of me that kept thinking about it. I found myself watching SSP videos during my free time, reading articles and browsing their community's forums. Eventually, it became my favorite pastime, and it was something that I was doing every single day. And what really intrigued me about it was it just kept getting crazier and crazier. And that's how I found my new favorite YouTube channel, Super Soldier Talk, which is run by a guy named James Rink. He's been doing it for 13 years, and he's been a hardcore believer of it for even longer than that. I found myself really drawn to James, especially his demeanor. I don't mean to ridicule the guy, but I genuinely just find him amusing.
So I am a super soldier. I've been involved in the secret space program for at least 330 years. I say that
it looks great
with
for 330.
a lot of hesitation because some of these projects, they have time compression zones where you're outside of time and the time is going by a little bit slower than the rest of reality.
Exit Prime.
They use re-aging tech, different cloning bodies. There's different techniques on how they can re-age us and reuse us. I spent at least 75 years on Mars.
Anyway, James runs the most popular YouTube channel in the community. It consists of interviews he conducts with secret space program experiencers from around the world. The guests on James' show all claim to be victims of the secret space program. The roles that they were assigned to in the secret space program vary. Some are shapeshifters.
So today we have David Lotherington, who is an Akashic reader, healer, and telepath. And he also remembers being in a facility that trained his shapeshifting abilities, in which I was also a participant of. He recalls experiences
Can you still
as a
shapeshift?
super soldier in Kruger and has done training missions with zombies and vampires.
Well, there was one kid.
There were zombies and vampires on Mars?
There was another a female that
surely we could
turned
cure
into an eagle,
zombieism,
and that was used for surveillance. I myself was a blue wolf. There was another being that turned into a cat.
Others are cyborgs and off-world medics.
Oh, I mean, I started
That's sweet. Thanks to the bits,
working on Mars.
And have a good
night,
night,
I was looking
Millie.
for bugs, they call them.
Thanks for your
Mostly
sub.
mantises. Mantises were really good at genetics, and they wanted like information from them and stuff like that.
Oh, not Bean. Van, come on.
And there's even She-Hulks.
Both dolphins and hulks, we can go through walls, go through portals. We can echolocate, but some people call it bilocation.
I quickly realized that most of the people James interviews don't actually have any celebrity status within the secret space program community. They're nothing like Corey Good, who sells out venues for his talks. Instead, they are just average believers in the SSP conspiracy who somehow got connected with James and were subsequently invited onto his show. Upon realizing this, I started to formulate a plan. What if I made up a story about being in the secret space program?
Well, that's all they
James'
do.
show and share it with his community.
That's easy.
And that's how I finally found an angle that compelled me enough to make a video about this topic. And the angle was to become a secret space program whistleblower myself.
Let's rock.
You don't join the SSP, swine.
So if my goal still sounds too vague to you, I set up a criteria for how I was going to accomplish it. A set of rules, if you will. 1. Make up a compelling story about my time in the secret space program, which has to follow the established lore of the conspiracy. 2. Get onto a major platform
Well, just say you're part of the Blue Wolf
shape-shifting
crew.
I developed this criteria after thinking what's required to become an SSP whistleblower. Obviously, evidence of being in the secret space program isn't necessary at all. All that's needed is a story which follows the lore, and, after that, I just have to appear on a major platform and share it. I decided that I would aim to appear on James's channel.
70K
like I said, it's
subs.
the most popular YouTube channel in the community, and it's even had the illustrious Captain Randy Kramer on it twice. Unlike Captain Randy Kramer, or Corey Good, I was unlikely to get my own show on Gaia.com, so I settled for a more manageable, but still difficult task: To increase the difficulty, I chose not to use my own YouTube channel as a way to influence my way onto the show. Therefore, I needed to find a way to ingratiate myself with James, and hope that he decided to invite me on as a guest himself. Before I did that, I needed to create a compelling story. In order to craft my narrative, I began to study the plethora of interviews available on Jay's channel, as well as the SSP lore extensively.
Okay, open up your textbooks, It's time for me to start explaining the lore behind the secret space program. Now, I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible.
Exit Tier 1 C96C.
Okay, so it started right before World War II, when the Nazis were interested in mysticism.
Before World War II, the Nazis, who were interested in mysticism and alternative views, searched the planet for fantastical powers. They found Maria Orsek, a medium and leader of the Vril Society, who channeled Nordic and Draco reptilians who offered the Nazis the schematics behind anti-gravity technology and UFOs. The Draco reptilians told the Nazis about ancient alien technology hidden in Antarctica, and in 1938, the Nazis traveled there. With this newfound tech, the Nazis created the Die Glocke, aka the Bell, which was capable of space and time travel. In 1942, the Nazis were already in space. There they built a base on the dark side of the moon. And by 1950, the Nazis were on Mars. Despite having access to this advanced alien tech, the Germans still lost World War II because apparently the Germans who possessed the technology did not agree with Hitler's regime, so there was a split.
The new Schwabenlanders didn't want to support Hitler at the end of the war because they considered him.
Let me catch up on the lore myself here at base 211. The new Schwabenlanders. Was that like a real division in the Nazi Germany, or is that just what the secret space program made up? The new Schwabenlanders. No evidence. Bro, we don't use the E word when we're talking about the secret space program. We just feel it. They have unlocked memories, dumbass. Evidence. Fuck. What are you? Huh? Some kind of science believer? Idiot.
Insane.
This guy's lived for 330 years on Mars. Okay, you don't understand.
The Nazis capable of space and time travel became the Fourth Reich.
You don't have the lived experience.
Antarctica in space while refusing to provide any support to the Third Reich Nazis during the war. Anyway, the evil globalists, i.e. the Cabal and the Illuminati or something, engaged in a Cold War against the Space Germans. Meanwhile, the Space Germans were also fighting the Draco reptilians and various alien life forms in space. The Antarctic/Space Germans would be responsible for abducting people to serve in joint black projects between themselves, the Cabal, aliens, and pretty much anybody with any power at all. This was the beginning of the secret space program. By the 1960s, the Space Germans created Notwaffen, aka Dark Fleet, and began an aggressive expansion out into the solar system, setting up bases.
So is the entire secret space program Nazis?
The Kuiper belts, and etc. Capable of time travel, the Space Germans also traveled back in time to settle on planets around the galaxy.
Now there's 3 billion people, humans that live off-world under various German SSP groups protected by the Notwaffen, translated.
Oh my god, so they're Nazis.
People were forced into the
what? In their own lore, they made themselves Nazis? Why? So they're part of the new Schwabenlanders? Oh man, they're everywhere in the galaxy. Oh, they could even travel back 400 years in time. So they're protected by the Notwaffen. Okay. Interesting. Alright, give me 1 second. I'm going to go say goodnight to Tiana. And then maybe interrogate her to see if she's part of the secret space program and she's lying to me. I'm back. These are tier 1 devil rides in the resub Axel.
Now there's 3 billion people, humans, that live off-world under various German SSP groups protected by the Nachtwaffen, translated meaning Dark Fleet.
People who are forced into the secret space program are called MILABs, aka military abductees. These people are chosen because they are special and often because they are psychically
Well, of
gifted
course
in
they're
some way.
Special.
Around 30% of MILABs are SSP
Everyone who
officers,
believes in
and
a
70%
conspiracy
of
is
them
special.
are used as slaves.
Everyone wants to
Individuals
feel
are
unique.
abducted and could be used as just about anything in the SSP. Super soldiers, pilots, remote viewers, assassins, scientists, forced laborers, and even slaves. So, there you have it. That's a basic breakdown of the SSP lore. After spending months putting together my very own secret space program whistleblower testimony, I felt like I was ready to share it on James' show. The only problem was that he wasn't replying to any of my emails. But then I found an in. On his website was a page called My Lab Recovery Network, which was a list of people offering services to help recover secret space program related memories. At the top of the list was James. And for $200 USD, I could book a guided meditation regression session with him, which is exactly what I did at 6 a.m. on September 1st, 2021. Within 23 minutes, James got back to me with an email which read, "Hi Oki, I'm booked till the first week in October. Can I put you down for Tuesday, October 12 at an afternoon slot or evening time slot, EST zone? Which would you prefer?" By booking a hypnosis session with him, at least I had an in. It didn't mean that I would be invited onto a show, but it was a start. In order to ensure that I can get onto a show, I fine-tuned my story. I knew that my only option was to put on such a performance that it completely knocks him off of his feet. So for the next 41 days, I hunkered down and recited my script while polishing it all into something truly compelling. And finally, the day arrived. At 1 p.m. EST on October 12th, I got the Zoom call invite from James that I was waiting for. Our session lasted for 2 hours and 14 minutes. The results of the session exceeded my expectations.
I would be curious. Buffy. What is your genetic background? Like what ET groups are you connected with?
Draco reptilian humanoid hybrid, and then I think I also got like Anunnaki.
Do you know who you might have been in a past life?
Have you heard like the Black Samurai Yasuke?
You were a samurai?
Yeah. Dude, hold on. I'll show you something. Check this out.
That's pretty dope. And I was a gladiator.
Oh no, that's awesome.
Oh wow.
The goal here, I want us.
You could learn a lot from James.
Let's put a gold shield of light around us. So at this point, we call upon Oki's higher self to overwrite any kind of AI. Begin to relax your forehead and your cheeks, and you can breathe just fine in and out as the relaxation goes down into your legs. As you fly through the clouds, the puffy clouds, you may jump around a little bit. Your higher self already knows where to go, so go ahead when you're ready. Step on through the door, and without putting any kind of conscious thought into it, just imagine what do you think.
Imagine Oki just becomes a real believer.
So let's start with that, and tell me what you see.
I see Kevin Spacey, or his clone.
Paul Serene, he was on the governing council of the ICC. So his clone is Kevin Spacey.
We're in a gymnasium.
Wait, what? So wait, is that part of SSP lore? Kevin Spacey is like a figurehead in the secret space program? Oh, okay, so Monarch is responsible for human trafficking, sex, mind control, experiments, and chemtrailing. I knew it. Fucking Kevin Spacey was behind it all, that son of a bitch. Evil bastard thought he got away with it. Didn't expect us to be hot on his trail. Luckily we broke away from Atlantis though, so we cut the connection. Okay. But Kevin Spacey himself is a clone of Paul.
We're in a gymnasium. It's me and at least 100 other. I think they're recruits.
Do you see anyone else there that
Prime
you
Scout
recognize?
and the Resub Hamster.
I think I see.
Oh, nice. Thanks for rubber feet.
Mr. Beast.
Today we will be planting 20 million trees.
Okay, so they're probably programming him. But he's the guy that doesn't need to give away a bunch of free stuff on the videos.
Yeah.
They must have looked into his future and Okay, so whatever trajectory, whatever plans they had for him was all programming stuff.
Anyway, the session was a success. Such a success that I got what I wanted. James invited me onto his show. Then he mentioned that it would be a little while before he could have me on his show because he was going to attend a secret space program conference taking place in early November. Without a second thought, I said that I'd be there.
Do you want to come on my show to share some of your experiences?
Yeah, hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
If you're coming out to Vegas, I could, maybe give you 45 minutes.
So a few days later, I traveled to Las Vegas and landed at around 12 p.m. after a 4-hour plane ride.
Man, he went all in for this video.
I'm here.
Traveled fucking 5,000 miles for a 45-minute interview.
Disclosure, 5D events, specifically to meet some super soldiers. People who are part of this,
He's a
who
tier
believe that
1
they are part of the
juggalo.
secret space program. This has been months in the making. Okay, this is gonna be fun, dude. I am so excited for this. Are you ready, Night Docs?
I'm as ready as I am gonna be, man. This is gonna be an exercise in patience for me.
No, this is going to be an eye-opening experience for everyone. We're all going to leave here thinking we're super soldiers from space.
The golden nugget.
Right here.
Here we are.
Hell yeah.
I guess we're gonna go learn how to become stronger through genetics.
And experience this up on the starship.
Is he the only one here?
Times. I spoke with the commander, the Arcturian commander, who I am connected to.
That's how we connect? Okay, hey. No, I understand it now.
They flew us to a separate base. We left this base and we went to a separate one on the moon. And it was U.S. military personnel. And the next morning they gave us a set of clothes to wear and put us on a larger craft and flew us to Mars. Flew out, we got away from the moon and
Thanks to Prime Wabajack.
jumped to Mars.
The bits
yes,
SSJ.
I was talking about this concert, this Travis Scott concert, where 800 people were injected with these drone mosquitoes. You know, you see,
oh,
that,
wow,
they can go around.
So that's
and
what
inject
happened.
People.
Jesus Christ. It is, whoops. It is so hard to believe that people like that exist, man. Not only exist, but have other people that believe them. Like, they have influence over other people. That's fucking wild. Think about that for a second. I've said this a million times. No matter how stupid you are or how outrageous your beliefs, you will always have an audience thanks to the internet. You will always find people that agree with you, support you, worship you, or just at the very least provide camaraderie in a positive echo chamber because you are connected to everyone at all times through Twitter and Facebook. So that guy who thinks at the Travis Scott concert 800 people were injected with, what was it? Some super space mosquitoes or whatever. He's got 100 other people in his Facebook group that all think the same thing. Wild.
The conference was a pretty fun but disorganized event.
Thanks
The
to
two
some
workshops we were
KV,
really looking forward to attending were
Zongo.
How to Become a Jedi Warrior and Quantum Spoon Bending, Bring Your Own Spoon.
Tomorrow's gonna be a fun day because tomorrow we get to go to How to Become a Jedi Warrior.
I'm excited about that one.
That should be, yeah, that should be productive.
Unfortunately, when we showed up to the How to Become a Jedi Warrior workshop, no one was there, not even the speaker, so it was canceled.
We just got in here, we have no idea.
Oh man, what the fuck? Well, they're too busy having sex, I
I
bet.
just gave up.
On Mars.
So the best part tomorrow is we are gonna go to Quantum Spoon Bending, parentheses, Bring Your Own Spoons, close parentheses.
And the quantum spoon bending lesson was underwhelming since, instead of learning how to bend a spoon with our minds, we were instructed to physically do it with both hands.
What the fuck? It's real! Oh my god.
But the conference was secondary to my ultimate goal, which was to meet James so he can interview me for his channel. It was during a workshop called My Life in the Secret Space Program that I finally got to meet him. Honestly, I felt sort of starstruck. I asked him to sign my copy of his book, and we talked for a bit before the workshop started. While walking around the venue, I noticed that James had sent me a text inviting me to his hotel room for an interview. Suddenly, a wave of anticipation and euphoria washed over me. This was it. Finally, after several months,
he ends up getting like Harvey Weinsteined by James.
I ran back to the workshop room, found Night Docs, and alerted him of the new development. We scrambled to get all of his equipment ready to film the interview and to get to Jay's hotel room as soon as possible.
Night Docs, go with him. Keep him safe.
Therefore, being late
oh
was
my
not
god.
Night Docs, who was behind me, was still trying to attach
the super soldier's
camera to
unpredictable,
gimbal, which would not fit. Watching the minutes go by was excruciating. Eventually, I told him to leave the camera unattached from the gimbal, and we raced towards the elevator, getting lost a couple times along the way. After an elevator ride that felt way longer than it should have, we rushed towards James' hotel room before realizing that we walked in the wrong direction once again. Then we beelined it in the opposite
James
direction,
is gonna leave!
And finally, found James' room. I knocked. The time had finally come.
Oh! James.
James had his camera equipment set up in the corner of the hotel room. He instructed me to take a seat in front of his camera and microphone. I asked him if it was okay if Night Docs filmed the interview, and he said it was fine. After a brief preliminary discussion, James started recording and we were underway. By then, any nervous anticipation I felt leading up to this face-to-face sit-down had completely dissipated.
Yeah, you just get to come in here
knowing
and
that I was more than
make some
to
shit
speak
up.
About my time in the Secret
Have
Space
some fun.
Program in a convincing manner. The interview lasted 1 hour, and here's what happened.
Okay, so my name is Oki. So it started from before I was even born, where they genetically enhanced my DNA. And by the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. I was under direct tutelage of Paul Serene, Kevin Spacey's clone. There was 12 children.
Oh my god. Luckily, James didn't pick up on that. He just got the lore wrong. Paul Serene is not the clone of Kevin Spacey, Oki. Kevin Spacey is the clone of Paul Serene. Oh my god, the whole operation just went tits up. There's no way James didn't just... Oh my god, there's no way James didn't pick up on that. Oh my god. He blew it. He fucking blew it. SSP's on his tail now.
Who were trained
He's hunted.
directly
He's a
under
hunted
him,
man.
including myself and the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
So, can you comment about what you, or maybe Mr. Beast, or maybe the people in your group were all being groomed for?
We were pretty much put in a top elite special program. They pretty much
He's a prime skunk.
utilized every method they could to use MK Ultra programming and to create killing machines. And I was able to just look at a photo of a target and make their head explode. Because I mean, there was billions of dollars spent on each and every single one of us. I particularly liked
that sounds like Kevin Spacey's research.
I liked my my 2 daggers. I had a form of EMP that I could take out there.
He's a Reddit assassin.
In my past life, I was
on Mars.
Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
Did any of your clones ever get changed into a zombie?
I had a clone.
I like how that's one of James' core questions. Have any of your clones been changed into a zombie? James makes it sound like he doesn't even know what the fuck a zombie is. He makes it sound like it's a state of mind. The clones would have to die first, James, and then Kevin Spacey and Paul Serene would have to do a fusion dance in order to bring out the proper necromancy on Mars at the Knockwaffen to revive them, for them to be zombies, James. Jesus Christ. He's getting lost in his own sauce. He's not even following his own rules in the secret space program.
That clone actually was fighting zombies and vampires. And there was also Yetis that they were fighting.
What about vampires? Do you recall any scenarios fighting vampires?
He just said that, James.
This particular thing.
He's killed 1,000 of them with his bare hands.
Is that they can't help but count. From what I remember, most clearly is
He
that
wanted
I
that
do
so
have
bad.
many different clones of myself with parts of my consciousness uploaded into those clones. I was taken, I was cloned, and my clones with my consciousness inside of them were used pretty much as like kamikaze pilots.
Typically, at least what I heard, black people require a different protocol of brainwashing.
Time flew by, and I was struck by the effortlessness of
the super soldier is many things, but a coward he is not. He will ask the hard-hitting questions. He will go where no other space program super soldiers will.
Story which I crafted. I spoke for 1 hour.
He actually
with ease
fucking
and told
said
my
that.
story so coherently that I realized that if I was to continue to pursue a career as an influencer in the SSP community, I'd be able to become a prominent whistleblower. I could do workshops, sell books, charge for hypnosis sessions, be invited onto shows, and attend conferences as a speaker, just like the top members of the community. I would be able to mold a career out of it, which likely could be far more profitable than spending months making YouTube documentaries and releasing them only a few times a year. When I first became interested in the community and its major players, I wondered how these people could regurgitate their own bullshit with such ease, as if their lies didn't affect them at all. Were they deluded, or were they capitalizing on feeding lies
These are
to
real
a fantasy
memories.
prone audience? And when I was being interviewed by James, I finally understood it. What you believe becomes your own reality, no matter how ridiculous it is. Spewing the nonsense story I crafted was like an out-of-body experience. I was playing a role, and even though I created the role, while I was performing it, it was like a switch in my brain went off and everything I said felt real.
That's 100% true. That's how it works.
Speak matter-of-factly about
That's why these
being trained
communities
by Kevin
exist.
Spacey's clone along with Mr. Beast. I never broke character. I never felt like laughing or winking at the camera. I spoke stone-faced with deadly seriousness the whole time. It was so easy to detach myself from the situation and make it feel real. Overall, this whole journey has been a fascinating
big shooter and slider.
I now feel as though many of the questions I had about charlatans, grifters, con men, and even cult leaders, it's starting to make more sense. By stepping into their shoes, I feel like I gained insight into how they operate and what makes them tick. Like I said, if I wanted to, I could have continued to masquerade as a secret space program whistleblower and turn my lies into something truly profitable. Of course,
you should have.
I
Still
have
can.
no interest in doing so.
He still could. It's not like they're gonna watch this video. They just exist on their own little pocket of the internet.
They enhanced my DNA, and they took the DNA from my father and they put it in my mother, and they were keeping tabs on me. By the time I was 6, I was put into a special program run by Monarch. The leader of Monarch, Paul Serene, also known as Kevin Spacey's clone.
So on December 28th, 2021, James finally uploaded the interview we did in Las Vegas onto his YouTube channel. As I record this, the video is sitting around 13,000 views. The response from his community has been overwhelmingly positive. People left comments that indicate that they completely believed me. A couple people said that I was the best whistleblower testimony that they've heard on James's channel so far. And one person even said that they cried the whole way through the video. So that's that.
Oh my god. Hold on, I want to read that. I'm so sorry you had to do that. Thank you for your bravery. Oh man. God, like, to a certain extent, I feel bad for them. Not in particular the secret space program, like them too, but in general, people that truly believe these things, like wholeheartedly separate themselves from reality to exist in this new made-up world. It is sad to a certain level, but they're their own worst enemy in that case. They at any point can just choose not to think that the Nazis created a secret space program that's been in the galaxy habitat, or what the fuck, now I'm lost. What was it? The Nazis split off from the world in order to exist in Mars, and they took over Cedarus, Uranus, Siblius for 400 years and started abducting people here for more forgot a lot of it now. It's been so much lore. Either way, you could leave that world where the Nazis control space and just go back to reality.
Through the video. So that's that. I made up a story and officially got it to James's channel. I can now officially call myself a secret space program whistleblower, an elite among elites, a space samurai, MK Ultra victim who was trained by Kevin Spacey's clone to become a killing machine. If you want to watch the full interview I had with Jay as well as our hypnosis session, please subscribe to my Patreon. Otherwise, follow me on social media. I have Twitter, which I'm the most active on.
God, this
Instagram,
was so good.
And a subreddit. All links can be found in the description box below. And as always, until next time. That's all you need to know now.
That was so fucking good. Yeah, apparently this got deleted, which I absolutely imagined it would. He'd have to. And he'll probably address this as well at some point. Goddamn shame. They loved Oki. Thanks to the bits, Rogue, and the Prime, Keith. God, that was amazing. This is criminally underrated for the work that went into this. Dude flew out from Canada to Las Vegas to a secret space program meeting in order to have an interview with the #1 figure in secret space program super soldier lore. The 330-year-old ass-beating, ass-eating super Goliath James. Like that is what it's all about, baby. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Night Docs. I appreciate that. And the tier 1, thank you for that. And great work. Appreciate the generosity. I want to look more into this group on my own time now. The Secret Space Program. I wonder how big they are. I wonder if I can find any numbers. They're definitely not that big. They don't even pop up when you look at Secret Space Program on Google. Usually you can type in any conspiracy group and immediately find something about them. I'm actually going to have to type in Kevin Spacey, maybe. This will be my gateway. Nope. I just got movies. And then I got Oki's video. And then Kevin Spacey's sexual assault. Maybe the 10 gift subs again, Lawborg. Appreciate the generosity. James addresses it on his website. Let's see. Okay. Well, that didn't work at all. I want to read this. Yeah, he just addressed this yesterday. YouTuber Oki Day lies about being in the SSP. He came to me for help, had a regression, but lied and made up a huge story. Yeah, James, what do you think everyone in the SSP community does? It's just fun little fanfic without the porn. How do I read his post? Does it not work? Do I have to be in the SSP? I have to go through a hypnosis regression therapy session with James in order to unlock my mind to read it? Thank you. That time it worked. I didn't get the 404. Well, that wasn't very insightful. Thanks to resub Story Eater and Saki and the gift sub Mouse Bomb. No, we're not doing like Cult Night or anything. I can't read it. He's basically just saying he doesn't have permission to share the... Oh yeah, I see you can't read that at all on stream, sorry. He's just saying you didn't have permission to post the interview or the hypnosis session. That's it. Though he does say we don't know if you're lying or not. So please stop lying to us. That's kind of sad. Yeah. Alright, that was fucking interesting. I love shit like that. I absolutely love it. And you know what I like most about it? It's harmless. They're not hurting anyone by believing that they're Mars soldier veterans who have been biologically enhanced by hybridization with reptilians, vampires, and space zombies. Them thinking that and sharing their creative writing pieces with one another, that doesn't hurt anyone. It's just a bunch of dudes and some ladies occasionally talking about space, sex, and war and drugs or whatever. Like, that's great. Harmless conspiracy. I love it. Love it. Have you seen the crazy story behind Low Tier God? Yeah, of course, I know all the LTG stuff. They do identify as space Nazis, though. Yeah, like I said, it's a little weird that they chose the Nazis to be the ones that they are a part of. That's concerning. I don't really know why they do that, but like excluding the whole Nazi angle of the secret space program lore, it's harmless. They made the plot for the next Wolfenstein game. Yeah, kinda. Thanks for the gift sub CJ and the gift sub Buffalo. Hey Buffalo. Someone recommended that before Blue Soul. I'm not gonna watch it tonight though. I'm actually getting tired. I think I'm just gonna call it a night. We're not gonna find something as interesting as that for the rest of the stream, so I'm just gonna go to bed. I'm getting tired anyway. Thanks everyone for tuning in. To everyone who donated, big thank you. New subs, welcome aboard. Sub means a lot to me, so thank you for subbing. I appreciate the generosity. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening and a happy new year. I'll throw you to... Who haven't I thrown you to in a while? Oh, here, I'll throw you to Edgar. He doesn't stream that much. So I'll toss you over to him. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Thanks to the resub, B-Town and Tier 1 Tristan.
I was about to be like, what should we do today?